Welcome to another episode of the Opinions Podcast. I'm Bobby B with the opinions you want to hear, and I'm here with my main man.
What's going on? This is Los Hurt. In my humble opinion, what's going down?
What up, Lois, man? I got a special episode today, man. First time we got a guest, one of my true friends, man, also a collegiate coach, good guy in the neighborhood, community, social buffer. The list goes on and on. But Coach Byrd, man, just welcome to the Opinions Podcast, man. We're glad to have you here. For the people that not familiar with you, man, just state your name and what's your position and what collegiate level, what school you at.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Appreciate that, Bobby. Well, my name is Coach Robert Byrd, and I'm the head men's basketball coach down here at Kilgore College, located in Kilgore, Texas. We're about 3.5 hours east of Houston, and yeah, man, we playing. We're a Division I JUCO program, playing Region 14, which is one of the toughest regions in the nation right now. Yeah, man, I'm a Houston guy. Been in and out of Houston, you know what I mean, my entire life. So, yeah, glad to be here today. I appreciate y'all having me.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you having me, Coach.
Coach, drop a little game for us, man. I know a lot of people, they know college levels, they know high school, they know head coaches, assistant coaches, but a lot of them think they know, they don't really know the role. Without giving us too much intel, just give us a few duties of a head collegiate basketball coach.
I mean, obviously everyone knows the X's and O's part. You know what I mean? The recruiting, the player personnel, the practices, the strength and conditioning, all that good stuff. But, I think what people don't really understand is that, especially at my level, at the junior college level, not only are we head coaches, we're uncles, we're counselors. We're heavy in the community. You know what I mean? Our program is heavy in the community. We work with the local elementaries and middle schools around here, nonprofits, and so essentially the best way that I can explain being a head coach is that you're a business manager, because that's essentially what you're doing. You're managing people. Like in a business, you'll be managing employees. You're managing budgets the same way you'd be managing money in your business, and all the things that come with that. And so, really X's and O's is maybe about 15% of the job. And I tell prospects all the time, and I tell coaches all the time as well. It looks pretty on game night, and it looks pretty on ESPN when you're watching that college coaching, and you seeing the college atmosphere and all that. But it's so much that goes into just getting to that point. That like if that's the reason you're doing it, then you're probably not going to be really successful or make it and last in this business. So.
Yep, you have a lot of duties that are unaware to the parents, the local fan, typical fan. Let's break down a little bit of your resume, Coach, if you don't mind, man. Just for as your coaching resume, we know you played a little ball, but I think you started off, if I'm not mistaken, was your first job at Lone Star College or no?
Yep. So, kind of when I came back over to Houston, I started out at Cypher College. I did some high school stuff in the Bahamas, did some middle school stuff down here in Houston, and essentially I already knew I wanted to be a college coach. But most importantly, I needed to be a father first. And so, right now I have a 13-year-old daughter, an 11-year-old son, and essentially, Cypher allowed me to be a dad while still getting that collegiate experience. And so, Lone Star Sci-Fair is not NJCAA, but I ran that thing like it was, and we were able to send guys Division Ones. We got I got guys that played in the G League and overseas that played for me at Sci-Fair, and so it essentially allowed me to be a college coach, get that experience, but be a dad as well, and be able to be home every night. And so I kind of started out there.
That's dope. That's dope.
Yep. Yeah, yeah. And so as my kids got older, me and my wife, we already kind of had it planned out. The older they get, the more we'll kind of move around and kind of be flexible with this thing. And so, after about 6 or 7 years at Sci-Fair, moved over and worked with Coach Medina. Coach Medina in Houston University, St.
Yeah.
Thomas. Historic coach, historic program. The guy wins championships. Year in, year out. I think he's like 19-1 or something crazy right now. And so, Coach Medina is one of my best friends, a guy I talk to every day, and he blessed me with the opportunity to to be able to really work for him. You know what I mean? And so, I did 2 years at St. Thomas, and I mean that experience was invaluable, man. I learned so much from Coach Medina, man. Had the blessing of winning 2 championships with him, and honestly, I just walked into those. I didn't do really anything to get them. It was all the man himself. You know what I mean? And so that was a great experience, man. And so like I said, I spent 2 years at St. Thomas. It allowed me to stay in Houston and continue to be a father, which is the most important thing to me. Um, and then I want to say it was 2019 that me and my wife decided we were going to kind of branch out and kind of move around and get out of Houston and do this thing. And so that's when I took the head coaching job down in Arkansas at Arkansas Costa Community College. And so I took that during COVID. It was a crazy time. Bobby took great care of me. He sent me one of the best players. He sent me the best player in Costa history, and Terry Anderson. Terry was a 2-time All-American.
Okay. Yeah.
Terry was a 2-time Player of the Year, and now he's currently at High Point, playing Division I basketball. And so, did 2 years at Costa Tot. We did really well, built up the program, did great things in the community, and then after that, after my second year, we moved over to Coastal Bend, which is in Region 14, Division I junior college. And so, I was blessed, man. Got to Coastal Bend. Bobby helped me out again with Big Mike. Big Mike's down at Wright State right now. And Mike didn't end up playing. But just being able to sign him, I mean, it was huge, man, because he had a lot of big time Division I JUCOs recruiting him. But like Bobby always says, man, he stayed down for the come up, and so I really appreciate him riding with me, and it worked out for him. He's doing really well at Wright State. He's starting for those guys over there, and so. In my year at Coastal Bend, man, we had the best season in program history. Won 19 games, which was the most in program history. Won 12 conference games. I think we finished 4th or 5th in the league, which is really tough because Coastal Bend is not fully funded whatsoever. Had the first team all region player in program history, and so did some great things at Coastal Bend, and it allowed me to get the job at Kilgore here, which is one of the best jobs at the Division I JUCO level. You know what I mean? It's a historic program, a lot of history, a lot of great coaches that have came before me, and so just really, really blessed to be here. Work for a great AD. Have phenomenal coworkers, as far as, Coach Gooden, the head football coach. He played in the national title game with his football program. Coach Williams, our women's basketball coach, and then Coach A. Williams, our softball coach. And so just love it here at Kilgore, man. Just absolutely love it and blessed to be here for sure. So.
Yes, sir. Well, let me bag up a little bit, Coach, because you throwing out, oh, Bobby helped me, Bobby helped me. Man, that's a correction. You helped us, right? We got players right here. So let's keep it. You got players, but it take guys like yourself who really get out and pave the gyms, who
It
out
takes a
there.
village, man. It takes a village.
Right. Tell
Absolutely.
them
Yeah.
those, tell them those. But the work that you do and the relationships you build, I can't say, oh, I helped you out, because without you doing that work, man, there's no way that we could utilize that relationship we have to help a Terry Anderson, Mike, or Pete, Peter, guys of that nature.
Yep.
And I don't want to just throw out names of the Raptors to make this about the Raptors or nothing, but definitely got to take my hat off to you, because AAU directors, coaches, man, we're nothing without the relationship with the collegiate coaches. We're nothing if y'all don't believe in us, if you don't take the time. When I say, hey, I got a guy, if I'm not trustworthy, if you're not, somebody that rock with me, you're not going to drive 3-4 hours to the gym when you can go
Yep.
look at EYBL kid or, things of that nature. So it takes guys like you that's willing to go to some of those gyms that are not always known for the most talented, the top kids in the city, but go out there and find those diamonds in the rough, guys that you can work with and build up and help get to the next level. So let's go back to Terry for a second. So Terry was a kid that played with us independently at the time. And he
Mhm.
was having a good season. He was able to build what I call build your brand on an independent level. And then once that brand started getting built, shout out to the guys, Extra Eyes Media, G Day, Hoops, Doug Jones, all those guys that help promote our players. Because once Terry did get a buzz, some of the circuit teams came in. I'm not gonna call no names. Came in, scooped them up from right up under our nose. We go to the gym to play this circuit team. We independent. We go to play the circuit team. We think we got a good shot at beating their ass. And hold on, is that Terry in a circuit jersey over there? Right? Right? Um, and no knock to those guys because we're 3SB now, one of our 15U teams.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say, try to do what's right for the kid. You know what I'm saying? Don't take a kid because they're good enough, but you don't really have room for them to get exposure that they need. Because that's how Terry fell, and that's why I take my hat off to you. Terry went to this circuit, didn't really play hell of a minutes, and the buzz he had and the recruitment he had, because he had D2 coaches on him at that time, and it just
Mm-hmm.
kind of fell down. And so
Yeah.
now it's all about who really done research to know about. Well, I seen this kid, I know what he could do. I believe in this guy, and that's when you stepped in, guys like you that just take time and love what you're doing and passionate for the game. And like you said, you got Terry there, and the rest was history. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely appreciate you because you won't believe how many coaches I reached out to, said they cool with us and trust us, that didn't even give him a shot. And this is a 6'6" kid.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
different with you. You believed in him, you believed in us, you believed in the plan you had for him. So that's what I think. Some people don't have a plan for a kid. They want him, but don't know what to do with him. Coach Byrd, on the other hand, man, he got a plan. He got a
Yeah.
plan. He gonna sit down. He gonna take time away from his family, like he just said, and get with the wife. Make sure they're on the same page. And that's the respect level and the type of guys I love to send my kids to. But I'll
Absolutely.
talk all day. Los, you're a basketball guru, man. Division One, all type of levels. Just what questions do you have for Coach, if any, brother?
I only got a few, Coach. I'm going a little different direction. You know what I mean? I want to talk about I guess the eligibility change that's
Mm-hmm.
happening. So I want to ask you, first of all, appreciate you coming on once again. But I
Absolutely.
want to ask you, what do you, what's the average age in JUCO basketball today, and where do you see that? Do you see that changing due to the eligibility rule?
Well, so I would say, man, the average age I would probably say is probably about 20.
Probably about 20.
1920, 1920. It's not. There's a lot of freshmen in JUCO. There's a
Mm,
lot of freshmen in JUCO, believe it or not.
okay.
And so I'd say probably about 1920. The thing with this rule is it hasn't officially gone into effect yet.
Mm,
Okay. So essentially, what's happening is guys that are seniors right now at the Division 1 level that are about to graduate. If they played non NCAA basketball, so if they played JUCO, then they get an additional year. So Terry, for instance,
right.
he played JUCO back in the day. He's about to graduate and be exhaust all of his eligibility. Essentially,
Okay.
they're going to allow and give him an additional year. And so, um, that stems from I think Pavia, the Pavia case, the football
Yeah.
guy,
Mm-hmm.
and him suing. And so, although it hasn't officially gone into effect, as of yet or anything, no final decisions have been made. We can all assume that there's going to be more, former JUCO guys that I think are going to follow suit. And if we know anything about the NJCAA, they don't want to be. I mean, the
Gotcha.
NCAA, they don't want
Gotcha.
to be sued. So it's still left to be seen what happens.
Okay. Okay. Coach, let me just ask you this. Because like you said,
Gotcha. Gotcha.
after
Let me
COVID.
ask you this, Coach. Well, go ahead. Go ahead, B.
No, no, no. Go ahead, Los.
No, I was just gonna ask. So, uh, in recruiting, what level kids do y'all tend to go for? Like, for example, do y'all go to EYBL tournaments and pursue like, Nike? I guess Nike circuit kids or Adidas circuit kids, or do y'all have a certain level or lane that y'all try to stick to?
I think it depends on each and every coach. You know what I mean? Um, different coaches are going to recruit based on the relationships that they have. Where they're located. Am I in Texas? Am I in Florida? Am I in Kansas? That sort of thing. For me, for instance, obviously I have a lot of relationships in Houston, and been developing relationships in Dallas as well. And so, us being a Texas school, I try to do my best to just recruit from guys that that I do know, I do have those relationships with, and that I do trust. And so it's going to be individual, definitely, to every coach. We'll definitely poke and take a look at the circuit guys, but um, you know, we're in the business of just finding good players. You know what I mean? So
Understand
wherever we can find them, we gonna turn the stone and utilize our relationships as best as possible.
that? Okay, that's what I was gonna ask. So the relationships sound like the most important in recruiting before anything else. That would you?
Absolutely,
Okay,
absolutely,
okay,
absolutely, absolutely.
okay.
And it's all about trust at the end of the day, right? Like, Bobby has had countless dudes come through my program um, that have been successful, done well, and so I trust that Bobby knows exactly what I'm looking for. You know what I mean? And I trust that Bobby is going to be able to prepare those guys for my program. And so if Bobby called me for a kid, I got a Bobby kid on my roster right now, Joshua Lateo. He's starting for me at the 5. Bobby called me about the kid. I pulled up and we got it done within a few days, man. And so he's here, he's doing well for us. So
Awesome,
relationships are definitely important because it's just, it's all about trust at the end of the day.
awesome, awesome.
Hmm.
Shout out to Josh, man. Good Vision Academy over there. My boy Noah Newman helped bring him over there. Shout out Noah. Coach, I want to ask you this real quick. After the COVID hit, most of the collegiate coaches was trying to get older. You had JUCO coaches that usually may go out to a high school kid without the grades, but definitely a high level. But even after COVID, it was like, everybody wanted to transfer. I wanted to get older. I wanted to get older. How does this rule, if any, do you think it can help get back to maybe going back to recruiting high school kids, or you think the focus is still, I still need a transfer? What do you think this rule, if any, would have changed the dynamic of recruiting as far as age? Like, let's say he asked that age because it's been a while where everybody just wants to get older. It's like, hey, I want the
Right.
reclass kid. I want the kid that's been to college before. So does it change back to where we could go back to the normal stages of recruiting back 5, 10 years ago?
I think it's going to be a little bit of both. What I think it's actually going to do, though, is remove um, the kids that aren't really serious about it. You know what I mean? That's what I think it's really going to do, because at the end of the day, coaches say they want to get older, but coaches just want good players. You know what I mean? Um, I got a freshman on my roster right now, Caden Myers. I mean, the kid, he's fresh out of Allen High School. And I mean, he's averaging 19 points, shooting 40, 38, 80 from the line. And I mean, the dude looks like a high major guard physically today. You know what I mean? And so, if we can find more of those fresh out of high school, that's what we want to get.
Right,
But what I think this rule will do if it does go into place is, it's going to cause a stockpile at the top because, if I'm the high majors and I got to say for instance, High Point, like you got a dude like a Terry that can do another year. You're gonna retain that kid because he's been in your system. He's more mature. He knows exactly what needs to be done, and all it's gonna do is just fall all the way back down. And what that's gonna allow for us JUCO coaches to get better high school kids. You know what I mean? And so those kids that might not be as serious, I feel like those kids are gonna end up getting phased out. So.
mm, that's
Hmm.
that's good knowledge right there. Maybe dropping them gems. They need to hear that. Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Absolutely.
Coach, what's the blueprint for a coach? You recruited a kid and you up on the kid, your staff up on the kid is talented enough, but once you get him on campus, you realize the maturity level isn't there, the work ethic isn't there. It's like the potential doesn't really meet the performance, is not matching. Um, how now I don't want to say you, but what's the typical process for a coach? Is it, hey, let me try to work with them another year? Or is it hey, at what point do you know this is a lost cause for my organization? Not saying that the kid can't make it somewhere else, but like, What is the process for that, or what are some of the things that the kid could do, and you're like, well, there's just nothing else I could do to help them as far as what we're trying to do on the collegiate level?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I can speak on our program. I mean, it really starts in the recruiting process. You know what I mean? A guy like myself, I'm going to be super transparent with the kid and tell him exactly what our program is about and exactly what our program expects. Now, the reason I'm doing that is because I don't want to sell you and just get you to campus if you're going to get here and you're not going to be ready to go, because that's not going to be beneficial for you and that's not going to be beneficial for me. And so
Mm,
I try to do a good job of just being transparent, being thorough with those kids and letting them know exactly how we operate and what's expected on a day-to-day basis. And so essentially, whether you're a kid or not, unfortunately we got to grow up. I just talked about how a lot of people want to, to be able to play in college is a privilege. To be able to coach in college is a privilege. It took a lot of hard work and sacrifice for me to get here. And so, for those student athletes, man, if you want to keep your job, you got to do your job. You got to show up. You got to be in the gym. You got to work hard and you got to meet the expectations of the program. And if you can't do that, unfortunately, like we're not here to babysit. You know what I mean? We're going to continue to work with you, work with you, work with you. But when time's up, time's up. And so, that's just the reality of the situation. And I don't mind teaching that hard lesson because if I don't teach them that hard lesson, somebody else may. And when I say somebody else may, it might be law enforcement. You know what I mean? And so, life is real out here, man. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody giving nobody anything. And so,
absolutely.
I don't mind giving kids that reality check. So,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah.
You got something, Los?
Nah, I was just gonna piggyback off that. Like,
Okay.
that's a great that's some great knowledge for these kids to pertain, especially, at a young age. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So it's like like either a coach or law enforcement. It's a thin line. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? It's a very thin line. So I appreciate you dropping that, Coach Day, because it's so many kids that I'm involved with, uh, especially Coach Benjamin. He can relate that they definitely need to hear that message.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Coach,
Absolutely.
I got a question. Me and Los talk about this, not a lot, but it's been a few topics, and even some of our followers. I know when I seen one of my homeboys at a game, he personally ran up to me and wanted to talk about how should a parent act when you have a kid that's a prospect, right? So it's been some situations where whether the prospect is pretty talented or not, where the parents kind of overshadow what's going on the court with their actions. Maybe it's be verbally, during the game, after the game, even parent huddles, group meets, all this. If you're at a game and it's a kid you like, a prospect you like, but you can kind of hear the parenting is making remarks about the coaching style, who's playing, how they play, this and that, and basically the parent just doesn't agree with the coaching. As a coach, does that deter you from recruiting a kid? Or are you still intrigued? Or is it just a complete turnoff? And this just speaking for you. What's your
I mean, it's definitely a turn off. I mean, me being transparent. At the end of the day, like we talked about, this is a business. You know what I mean? And by allowing your child to play college basketball, they are choosing to enter this business. You know what I mean? If your kid's working at a job, is that the way you're going to carry yourself? You know what I mean? And so, although it's a sport, it's still a business. You know what I mean? You're not going to go up to just whatever business and carry on and act that way. And you can have your feelings and your thoughts, but you still have to be professional about how you go about it. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so, because at the end of the day, I mean, that stuff is just not good for business. It's not good for culture, and it's just unprofessional at the end of the day. And so, it would 1,000% deter me.
sweet?
House. Yeah.
All right, Coach. I want to ask you this, man, because I know we jumping back here, but when you said you was at Lone Star 6 years and some of the levels that you helped these kids get to, I'm just curious to know if you could recall maybe three or four of some of your top players that was at a Lone Star College. Because a lot of these kids, they look at certain levels and, oh, I'm too good for this. It's all about a foundation. You have to
Right,
build a foundation to build wherever you want to go. So that foundation can really start anywhere. So
right,
help
right.
us out on some of the kids that you had at Lone Star that was able to go out, build a foundation there, but complete other levels once they left.
Dope, dope. Yeah, that's a great question. I'm gonna start out. I got three guys I'll talk about. First one is Christian Alekwe. Um, Christian played for me. I want to say in like 2016. Um, After me, he had Division One stuff, but he chose to go to the University of St. Thomas.
Mm.
Um, he ended his career at the University of St. Thomas as the player of the year in the conference. Coach Medina did a phenomenal job with him, and like now he's playing overseas and doing very well for himself. He's a Hightower kid, so he's Coach Wood's kid, Hightower kid, um, and Coach helped me a lot with that one as well. And so he would be one for sure. Second kid is going to be Jonathan Uribe, graduated from Cy Springs, I want to say in 2010. And Jonathan Uribe, he moved on and he went Division Two, University of Texas Permian Basin. And Jonathan is actually the head strength and conditioning coach at Furman University, which is Division One right now.
Yep, yep, yep.
Okay, so Christian went D3, he's playing pro. Jonathan went Division Two, and like I said, he's a Division One coach essentially right now. And then the last guy would be Regis Onwukamuche. And Regis, he was a graduate from Dulles High School, and Regis moved on. He went to Prairie View. He graduated from Prairie View. He ended up being the SWAC Defensive Player of the Year, and made All SWAC team in his senior season. He played in the G League for the Orlando Magic affiliate, played overseas, and he's actually currently an assistant coach with the Atlanta Hawks. And so, um, you know, I say it like that just to kind of touch on the amount of reach that we were able to have. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? We're talking about a kid that was able to go D3, now he's playing pro. A kid that went D2, now he's coaching Division One, and then a kid that went Division One, and now he's in the NBA, coaching in the NBA. And all that started from little old Lone Star Cypher. And so, it's something that I'm proud of, man, because like I said, I have relationships with all those dudes right now. When they come back during the summer, I'm in Fondy. I'm with them dudes while they hooping. We laugh and joke, and they telling me how crazy I was back then. Um, but those guys are doing great for themselves, and so it's something I'm very proud about.
B, let me ask Coach something. You made me think about something.
Go ahead.
Now that you at Kilgore, uh, how many of your players you think on average uh, go Division One these days?
I'd say as of right now, it's about three. It's
About
about
three.
three. Yeah,
Okay.
it's about three, and I got the job really late last year,
Okay.
and I had a bunch of sophomores, and essentially we had three guys that were Division One guys last year, but one came back. We had a kid, Jamil Mutaliv. He went to App State. Willie Williams, he's at Northwestern State. Willie is a Westfield graduate. Jamil
Hey,
is a Cy
Will.
Ridge graduate. Yeah. And then I have a kid back, Kamai Crosby. He's on the team right now. He's going to the University of North Texas. And so this year we kind of had to do our rebuild per se, where we had to
Okay.
get, new blood in the program and kind of just teach them our ways. And so I would definitely say I'll expect that number to increase as the years go on. So definitely
Awesome.
excited about it.
Even
Awesome.
with that being said, for y'all kids out here, if anybody watching this, those are some good numbers for a coach. And Coach Byrd, like you say, got the job late, still able to produce. Stop overlooking these JUCOs. Is I would say it's not about the level; it's about the coach. That's even like AAU. You got. I'm not talking down on nobody, but you have some coaches that are just more willing to do what it takes to help a kid get to the next level. You have some that's
Absolutely.
not gonna stay up 3, 4 in the morning, try to call, get film together, send emails, and you have some that's gonna do it on a regular basis. So let's
Yeah,
start doing a little research here when we're making these decisions and making some good decisions that can kind of help us in the long run. Uh,
Absolutely.
Going
Yep.
back to Willie, man, I like Willie. One thing I like about Willie, everybody know Willie could play. He had good footwork. He had all the game and skills. He had everything you can imagine. Kind of remind me of, in a different, probably different positions, but Christian Hodge who played with me this year. I
Yeah.
feel Christian Hodge was definitely. Uh, I think he earned the D1 offer this spring and summer. When I say he earned, from the 3SB teams to the Nike teams, any team we were able to play, this kid showed up and showed out, and he was consistent. He do what he do every night. He's going to play defense. He's going to rebound, defend. He's going to slash at a high rate. He's going to finish at a high rate. And I think he was probably, I would say, maybe the MVP. I know probably led us in scoring because he was just that consistent. Not saying that he's the most talented kid we had. Like we had Amorion, who got a Division I offer, Amorion Harvey. But
Hmm.
those kids that are undersized but could play, don't be discouraged, man. Find you a Robert Byrd, somebody that have a platform for you, somebody that can help you build your foundation to help you get to the next level. Because a lot of times these kids, they stress out. They know they earn something. They compete against some of the better kids, and they're outplaying them, but they're not getting the opportunity. Just know that it ain't your time, brother. It don't mean
Yeah.
that it's
Absolutely.
just not your time, man. Connect with the right person. And because I was just talking about Willie to another coach, and I couldn't remember his name. Like I said, man, the kid from Westfield. You got to know the undersized kid from Westfield. But I'm glad to hear that he was able to accomplish some things over there with you, man.
Yeah.
Los,
Yes, sir.
question for you,
Yeah.
right? So everybody know you was a McDonald's All American, and you end up going to Louisville.
Hmm.
Uh, but kind of like Coach said, Coach got the Kilgore job a little late. When you were committed, you were going to play for Coach Crum, and then Coach Patino come in,
Right.
but you didn't switch up your recruitment.
Right.
Um, just give us your opinion. This some years later, what's your thoughts about that? And just like even like you know a lot of college coaches now. You're a much older guy, so you know a lot more of the game. What would be your advice to a kid in that predicament or that situation where they sign with somebody who kind of know them, like Coach Byrd say, man, I'm gonna do my homework. I'm gonna let the kids know this and that from the beginning, exactly what it is. Explain your thoughts on a situation like that for a kid who might face that in the near future.
Well, the relationships, like we said, is everything. So, you got to do your homework and your due diligence when a change like that occurs at the college you was going to attend. You know what I mean? I feel like for me personally, it was it was probably the biggest mistake of my life not leaving. Like originally not going to Arizona was a mistake, maybe, but going with Denny Crum, I feel like the relationship we had, I would have still been okay. But once he, decided to retire, that was like almost like a sign from God, like you need to get out this situation. Not that Patino was a bad coach, anything like that. It's just the relationship. We didn't know each other. We didn't
Right.
have no bond. We didn't, he didn't know my mom or dad like that or nothing. When Crum was coming to games in Houston since I was a sophomore, you know what I mean? And some of the alumni there at the time knew my family and stuff like that. So that's why it was easy for me to go there. But once Crum left, Patino, you're gonna bring his guys in. So a lot of that changes, and that's what a kid has to understand. Where you want to go, where you gonna get challenged the most, and the coach is gonna care about you the most. You understand what I'm saying? That's like the two of the main things, like off the court and on the court. A coach, you want a coach to challenge you to the highest standard, but also he has to understand the kid that he's dealing with. And that's on the kid and the parents to make the right decision when that time comes.
Sweet.
Absolutely.
Coach, you want to piggyback off that? Have you been in a situation like when you went over there to Kilgore, like you said, it was late, last minute type deal? Of course, they already, like you said, they already had their team kind of recruited, and you got to come in and you got to kind of keep what they have and add to it and kind of put this gumbo together so it's still a great dish for the next season. Um, so, what were your thoughts coming in? And you've been in this position as a coach. We heard from Los as a player, but as a coach, what was your role? Do I just keep these guys, roll with mine, or like what situation do you really in the mentality? You don't even have enough time to really iron it
Yeah.
out and plan. You got to make a quick decision. So, what was your mentality when you were in that situation?
You know, for me, man, like, so if you go on my social media, you'll see strictly business all over it. And so, essentially what I mean by that is if you keeping the main thing, I'm rocking with you. I mean,
Yeah.
it's really that simple for me. And so, I brought a lot of my guys, about half the team from Coastal Bend, but I had signed a big roster. So it was about 18 guys. And I think I brought like 7 of them over from Coastal to Kilgore. And essentially, there was 3 guys that are signed that were already signed here at Kilgore. Thomas Hadaway, Kamai Crosby, and then Jaheem Nyam. And so, I gave those guys a call, and I was just transparent with them. Like, hey, this is who I am. This is what I'm about. You know, I know I didn't recruit you. I know I don't have a relationship with you. But at the end of the day, I don't care who we put on the floor. I'm going to put the guys that are about the right things on the floor. And so just know that you have a genuine opportunity from me. And what holds true is that the guys that I were bringing, they knew that as well. They knew that about Coach Byrd. They knew that I'm going to play the guys that work the hardest, execute the best. It's that simple. And so, Kamai, who was already here, he ended up starting at point guard all season. And like I said, he's back this year, and now he's going to North Texas.
Right.
Thomas Hadaway, he ended up playing about 20 minutes a game. Shot like 40% from 3. And this year, he's my assistant coach. And so I
Right.
have real solid relationship with dudes that I didn't even recruit. You know what I mean? I just kind of had a conversation and re-recruited them. But because they were really solid stand-up young men, their parents did a great job raising them. And who I am, we just meshed, and now we got an unbreakable bond, and it was a really successful relationship at the end of the day. So
Right.
Yeah,
Coach,
that's dope.
we know you gotta go. You have things to do, but I want to get into one more topic before we get out of here.
hmm.
Not for sure. I know you're a very busy man. Do you get a chance to watch any NBA action?
No. Now I'll be transparent. I don't know if it's a chance or more. If I don't have interest in it.
That's even better. Let me ask you this: why is it a lack of interest for the NBA game and style of play in this generation? In your
Honestly,
opinion, this is opinions podcast, so there's no right or wrong answer. Just your opinion.
for me, I'll be honest, it's more business related. I have no aspirations of coaching in the NBA. And
Okay.
so for me, down here in Kilgore, in my spot, I got 6 TVs and I watch college basketball because I'm a college coach. I only have aspirations of coaching in college. And so I watch what I want to coach so I can learn and get better at that. You know what I mean? And so, more so that's what it is. But what the opinions that I hear from others is that dudes don't play hard in the NBA. They just kind of take, it's my turn and it's just bad basketball. But, for me, it's more of a business thing, me trying to watch what I'm, aiming for at the end of the day.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. This year, college basketball been way more exciting than the NBA, and
Yeah.
I'm not. I'll be honest with you. I haven't been a college fan throughout the years. I'm always a big NBA guy, but this year, college women and men has been a lot more exciting than the NBA for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Los, let me ask you this, Los. Why are you just now gravitating over to the college ball? Like, why you haven't been a college fan when you were such a highly rated high school prospect?
Well, for me, I just liked professional basketball. At one point, like I grew up watching professional basketball, so it wasn't nothing really personal with college. I was just like seeing pros, playing at a high level at the highest level. And for me, more so, it was like what coach is saying, what he hears. I'm one of those guys that say that the NBA, the skill level is at an all time high, but the passion for the game, the actual love for it doesn't seem to be displayed enough on the NBA level versus the college level on the girls and boys. You see high energy, passion. They playing with their heart more so. And then the NBA, you got a few teams. You know what I mean? Shout out to my Rockets. Udoka got them boys going. You know, you can see it in them. But it's, majority of the time, you're going to get some low level basketball, man. Some real boring basketball, to be honest with
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
Sweet. Coach, couple questions, man. Give me 3 spots when you're in Houston to dine in. Fine and dine restaurants, man. Give me 3 spots. I'm trying to step my game up, man. I got to step my
Yeah.
game
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey man, hey man, hey man, say man, hey.
up.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's do this. I ain't doing fine dining. I'm gonna do good eats.
Good
You
eating.
Okay.
good
Let's
with that?
good eating.
Yeah, all
Let's
right,
do it.
cool. Let's go barbecue. I'm gonna go pit room.
Man, I knew you was gonna say that. Hey, you own something right there. You
All
own
Yeah.
right,
something
barbecue. I'm
right
gonna go pit room. Ooh man, Mexican. That's tough. That's
Mm,
tough. That's tough. It's so many. It's so many different directions I can go with that. I'm gonna
yeah.
go Mexican. I'm gonna go El Tiempo.
there. Okay.
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 I'm gonna go El Tiempo, and then man, let's go seafood papados. I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it simple.
Yeah.
Sweet, sweet, sweet.
Okay.
Los,
Okay.
Los, I need your 3, Los. I need your 3, Los.
See, I'm gonna stick with it like Coach said. I'm just gonna say good eats. And I'm from the H, but I live in Louisville now. You know what I'm saying? So the first place I'm gonna go to is Frenchie's. You know
Okay,
what I'm
okay.
saying? Yeah, I gotta give me some good Frenchies in me. Uh, I like uh, I like Papados. Papados is a staple for sure. But I done got turned on to this new spot, uh, and I can't tell y'all just yet. I gotta keep, I gotta keep that Jill Nan tucked away for now. And then now I'm lying. Y'all steak 48. Do y'all like steak
Okay.
48?
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And then I go Papacitas for Mexican.
Sweet, sweet,
Yeah.
sweet. All right, now, Coach, I need, and I'll give you Texas because you're a coach. I ain't gonna limit you to Houston, right? No, let's limit to Houston. Let's stay in Houston. Let's stay in Houston. Coach, give me 6 programs, grassroots programs, right? No.
Ooh.
Ain't about no. Listen, this ain't about nothing about players. This ain't nothing about recruitment. This ain't nothing about nothing. This is 6 programs that the coaching staff you have built a good relationship with. It don't got to be about basketball, bro. It don't got to be. We want to know some good people out here, just some genuinely good people. You can know these guys before they got into basketball, and y'all had a good relationship. You see what I'm saying? I know it's hard. I know it's hard.
You gonna put me on the spot like that?
Right, right, right.
Hey man, listen. All right, we only got to answer that. But
Okay, okay.
because what I'm trying to get is we want to identify some good guys, right?
Hey, there's so many in the city.
Right.
I can't even answer that.
Boy,
Yeah,
that's you. Hey man, goddamn, you more polished than I expected, man.
yeah, yeah. Solid, coach. Solid.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
Yes,
Well,
sir.
that's a good answer because my old road dog Carlos here, boy. Boy, I load him up with a question. He fine. He
Yeah, yeah. Got to give the people
I
what
think
they want.
the hell
Yeah.
though.
Yeah, now coach got a job to do first and foremost. You
Square
know what I
bit.
mean? So I understand. I understand. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
all good.
Carlos, question on you, brother.
What up? What you say? The six people?
Saying yeah, but I mean, arguments like you don't. It don't have to be the director. It could be one of their babies. He could coach the kindergarten team and could just be a trainer. But we want to start identifying some good people out here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I got one for you. Brian Hamilton.
Be
Brian
him.
Hamilton,
Good,
a
good. Be him.
solid brother right there. Be him. Do some training with kids that might not be as skilled as other kids, stuff like beginning level stuff like that. If you want to get in on that that's he's one of those guys. He's one of those guys. And then I tell you another dude, Marcus Sloan. He's another one. Big Sloan, yeah. Big Sloan's another good guy. Uh, Let me think. Let me think. My man right here I'm talking to right now, Bobby
Coach
Benjamin.
Byrd?
Bobby
Oh,
Benjamin, solid as they come. You know what I mean? I'm thinking about in that AAU world though. You know what I mean? In that AAU world, I'm thinking about those guys. You know, they know some of them, TJ Fords, the John Lucases, you know, the
TJ
list
Ford.
go on.
Hey, real quick,
Yeah,
not to cut you off, but let's shout out TJ, man. TJ, TJ Ford Academy just got the full 3SB deal with Adidas. So they
shout
15,
out to them
16,
boys, man. Yes,
17,
sir.
full 3SB, man. So y'all make y'all way over there for trials, anything. If y'all looking for some of that action on that 3SB Adidas level. And Adidas had, what, the second amount of players to attend the McDonald's All-American game right behind the EYBL. But go ahead, Lois. My bad. You say
No,
John.
no, no. That was I think that was about five. You know what I mean? I said enough, man. I said enough. Yeah, yeah.
I think you said John Yuri or John Lucas. One of them. You got
I
to throw out
said
the
John
Lucas, man.
Lucas. You know, I
Lucas.
got love. I got love for Yuri too, but I said Lucas though. I said
Lucas.
Lucas though.
Bet,
Yes,
bet.
sir. Yeah,
Shout out
yeah,
to John over there. Sweet,
yeah.
sweet. Good job. Hey, fellas, man, I definitely appreciate y'all for coming on, knocking out this episode of the Opinions Podcast. I know everybody busy, got things to do. So we could end it here. But if y'all have anything y'all want to lead the people with, man, let's go ahead and leave them with that at this moment.
I just want to say I appreciate Coach coming on, dropping them good gems, man. I can't wait for this episode to drop so these kids can, you know, listen to it and, you know, hopefully soak up a lot of this game that was dropped on this episode today, man. That's all I got to say. Appreciate you, Coach Byrd.
Yeah, yeah. The only thing I'll say, man, is shout out to everyone in the Houston basketball community. That's what I'll say. Because believe it or not, you know, the kids in different cities around the U.S. Don't get the exposure um, that they're able to, that our kids in Houston are able to get, just because of all the great people that we have involved in basketball. You know, field in the city. And so shout out to each and every one of y'all, man. There's nothing but love.
Well,
Yes, sir.
shout out to all the media entities,
Yup.
everybody, man. It's all love, no hate over here. Shout out to the AAU coaches. If you're doing something, man, good job, good luck this season. And that's coming from the horse's mouth here. I'm out of here, man. This is Bobby B with the opinions you want to hear. Low sounders out, my boy.
Man, this Lowe's hurt in my humble opinion. Another one, man. Holla at y'all. Love.
Yes, sir. All right, Coach Byrd. Appreciate it, brother.
Yes,
All
sir.
right.
Appreciate
Appreciate
it,
you.
Coach.
All
Yes,
right
sir.
now.